What up now?
Shaddah.
Shaddah Da, everyone.
Shaddah Da.
Shout out, baby. And listen, let me just say this. First and foremost, I'm going to send my love to everybody. Without question, everybody who's on the line, I want you to know that I love you and everything's going to be just fine. The truth of the matter is, don't you worry about a thing, baby, because God loves you, and so do I. You see, so do I. Now, but what I will tell everybody here today is that the time is now. And what I mean by that, there is no more, how should I say, time to waste. The need for our goals to be reached, and not just reached, but once we reach them, to be maintained, is very adamant. The truth of the matter is, you know, if I had to say to myself, what is it that our people are doing that's making my father at this particular point tell me to deal with, you know, something, because guess who I'm teaching these days? I'm teaching Tamakus. Baba has talked to me and told me to sit amongst these people. And I have. And they're listening. They're listening. And I look and I say to myself, how is it that these people who have never heard me speak or Baba speak before can comply with such a zeal? I'm talking about enthusiastically. And the truth of the matter is, you have to know that the opposite of procrastination is enthusiasm. And the question is, how enthusiastic are our people about getting this job done? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I see our effort. I appreciate our effort. But I know we can do much, much better. And all you have to do is just follow instruction. It's not hard. Meaning, the things that I tell our people, without question, are not things that I myself am making up in my head. These things have been afforded to us, listen, from the very tip top. Our plan is divinely unique and reachable. Meaning it's not so far-fetched that it can't be made manifest. Because without question, we know the burden in a lot of places for many of you all is entirely too heavy for you to bear. So, on that note, what makes you think that we haven't afforded you a particular type of mercy? The mercy is within the plan that has come to us. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people, have a real hard time with following instructions. It becomes obvious. Because all you have to do is do what you are being told to do, and it will get us there. And I've said many times before, that if there's anyone out there that has a plan better than the one we have, I'll be the first to shut up and follow them. Why? Because I know that plan is very well put together. Because let me tell you something. If indeed you want to solve a problem, we all know that you have to trace that problem to its origin. Meaning its starting point, where it all started. How it all began. Just like if you want to ever find true definition of any word, you have to trace that word back to its origin. Why? Because it's there and only there that you will find the true intent of the creator of the word, thereby rendering to you true and unadulterated definition the true and unadulterated definition of that word, because it's only there that you can find the true intent of the creator of the word. Now, this being a standard motion, that anybody, just like anybody who is of my father and who's been listening to my father teach for all these years, we know it's a standard motion that anytime somebody brings something to you, the very first thing you say is, prove it. Prove it. And if they can't prove it, Bible has taught you all, just like I continue to teach you all, to say, well, get it out my face. Meaning, if you can't prove what's being said, if a person brings you an information and they can't prove what's being said, then the truth of the matter, that information is not one that we at this late, stage of the game need to be embracing. The truth of the matter is anything that someone brings to you in a form of information, what you should first ask them is, where did you get that from? What is the source of that information? Where is it coming from? And prove it. Not just prove where you got it from, but prove also that it's worthy of us paying an attention to. Don't nobody want to hear nothing that is not, not just with substance, but with a great deal of substance in this day and time. You shouldn't want to be listening to any more rhetoric than what you have already been made to listen to. And that's truth beyond doubt. Because the truth of the matter is we don't have no more time to waste in that capacity. Time ran out a long time ago, and the way people are dealing with things now, here today, 1 second, because the earphones are running out of juice, telling me to charge it. The way things are, people are dealing with things here today is like this. You know what? They're not enthusiastic about what they're doing. Our people. You can tell by the productivity level what is being produced. You guys hear me? Are you there?
Oh, the audio went back for a second.
Chief, your audio was breaking up.
Okay, Shaddah Da Family, I'm sorry we got cut off. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Chief.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, there we go. Now, again, I've said many times before that if anybody can present a plan that's better than the one that I'm presenting, then I would be the first to shut up and follow them. The reason being is because I would know beyond a shadow of doubt that that thing is well put together. Because the plan that the heavens have afforded us, let me tell you something, it is well put together. It does a multitude of different things, and the one thing we don't want to do is drag our feet in achieving these things. See, because people lose momentum especially our people. Our people's attention span is about as long as the attention span of a fly. And that's, I mean, don't feel bad. That's because everybody wants everything to be given to them quick. If you don't give it to me quick, I don't want it. The reason being is because deep down and subconsciously in the mind, they know we don't have any time to waste. So it's like, give it to me quick because I got other things I have to do. Well, let me say this to you. Anybody in this forum who thinks for 1 minute that you have a life of your own, the question is, didn't you dedicate your life to the Most High a long time ago? And if you dedicated your life to the Most High a long time ago, then how do you have a life of your own? The minute you became Abdullah, you gave up that life for a greater cause, which is the mission of the Most High. And don't fool yourself. What is the mission? To save this planet's life. And everybody on it. And I'm talking about, check this out, Amorites have a right too, you know. And I've said that many times before. There's a difference between the Amorite and the member of Star Command. These are two different types of beings. Amorites came from us. And whether you like it or not, they are family members. And yeah, Baba has me talking to these people. And let me tell you something. What I find amongst them is that they're quite cooperative. Meaning they're willing, they're eager to get involved and eager to assist. As long as what they are assisting in, they can wrap their minds around as being right. Well, can nobody say that you all, being members of the OSOICE, have not already wrapped your mind around what is right? This is what made you become a member of the OSOICE in the first place. You see the relevance in what is being said, and in seeing the relevance in what is being said, you have gravitated towards it, and without question, with zeal, you embrace it honorably and nobly, and you show the loyalty towards what we are doing. Listen, more than what average beings here today even know what loyalty represents. Without question, all of our family members in those twice are very beautiful beings. All of them. We are great people, without question. And in order to be great, that means you have to be full of some sort of greatness. And in order to be full of some sort of greatness, that means you have to be grateful for the mere fact that any of this has come to you in the first place. Because the truth of the matter is, you know, there's a lot of other things we who are your heavenly hosts could be doing with our time and listen, focusing in on you all. But we're focusing on you all because you all, believe it or not, are the very best we have. There is nobody else that can do it better. Each of you specialize in a certain field of information. And as a nation, you have to gravitate towards these things. Hold on one second.
I think we lost some family.
Yeah.
I think we lost them. Let me try to get them back.
Okay.
No. Okay, shut it up, fam. I'm sorry again. I mean, we already know what news is all about. Well, man, ain't gonna never leave us alone, so just get used to it. You know what I mean? Shit. You know, so it's like, really, just, accept the fact that we got a fool ass that's gonna keep fucking with us everywhere we go and in everything that we do. Accept it. Because if you think you're going to be the devil, you're going to pack up shop and go home, forget that. Get it out your mind. Because the truth is, he's going to reinforce it as the closer we get to achieving our goals. And I'm telling you now, the means to achieve it has been afforded to us by Chiquiti himself. I don't care what nobody says. It's the only way we're going to get this thing done with a certain sense of expediency. Let's face it, we need about $250,000 very, very quickly. And nobody's going to be able to do that unless we do that. And what I mean by that, the way we're going, I'm not saying that I'm not appreciative of each and every guy's effort, but what you are doing will not cut the butter fast enough for us to achieve what it is that we're setting out to achieve. Again, if you want to solve a problem, you trace that problem back to its origin. Our problem started at the mines of Monadapa in Zimbabwe. That's where our problem started in this family. Because that's where Inky, Inil, and Mother Lindsay and all of them did what they did and broke galactical law. Now, Inky will stay in Avatar indefinitely. Inil had been pardoned. That's Zuriel. And the word is, Mother Lindsay is about to be pardoned too. Because these beings were only guilty by association. And Mother Lindsay had good intent, but still she broke the prime directive, which was you are not supposed to tamper with the life form on any planet. You see, that you are not from. You are only supposed to go there as observers. And the truth of the matter is, yes, I would have been frustrated too to see, Inky, telling the legal avenue to pick that box up and carry it over there. I would have liked to see that, especially them making a mockery of the beings they were already here, calling them the people. Get that box, and that's exactly what these beings would do. When they would sit here, ordered by Anu himself to extract the gold and take it back to EU. They failed in that capacity, and by virtue of this is why Avatar has now become Inky's home. He will stay there indefinitely. What you say when you say Avatar, you're talking about a place where you go and you are aggravated like a motherfucker. It's called hell. Hello. So you go there not with we send you there not with the intent of you staying there forever. We take you there only for you to be able to burn out your hell. And once you burn that out, then you move to your next one. And then once you cleanse and purify and you become a mukrasina again, then at that particular point, then you should, you can rock and roll with us once more. Nobody wants to keep any family member in a state of purgatory or, aggravate. I mean, because really, in Avatar, that's what it's about, aggravating you to the fullest. You see, because number one, you're not physical. And you have no matter by which you can be solid. And if indeed, let's say that you desire to smoke cigarettes in this life, you wake up in a situation by which the urge for a cigarette becomes 500 times greater. And meanwhile, you wake up in a room where everybody around you is smoking cigarettes. You walk over to the table, it's a pack sitting right there, and you go to pick it up and your hand goes straight through. Whoop. And you keep on trying to pick this pack of cigarettes up until you realize no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to do it. And that's when you just sit down and you say, damn, sorry. And at that point, once you've given up on your effort to do whatever it is you might want to do, then we'll move you out of the place and take you back to where you were intended to stay. Now, everybody's got a real, I don't know how to say it, mixed up vision of right and wrong. You know, I've had many people say, you know, I was on the land, and I heard Bible say, there's no such thing as right and wrong. There's only what's right to you. I remember being in the Waffle Gardens, coming out my house, and all the brothers and sisters were standing there in the cycle. And this was the issue. If indeed there's such thing as right and wrong. Because the beings were saying that they were on the land, and they heard Bible say that there's no such thing as right and wrong. There's only what is right to you. And the brother drew a very, proper analogy. Listen. And what he said, it has to be true, because the truth of the matter is, picture you going into a grocery store. You have to feed your family. And meanwhile, you've exhausted your resources and you've yet to achieve your goal. So you look down into the freezer there and you pick up a steak, and in stealing that steak, which might not be right to somebody else, is very right to you. Why? Because you have to feed your family and you're doing whatever it is you have to do. So what might be right to one might not be right to another. And I listened to that. And then, after listening to that, I stepped to the center of the site and I said, well, it seems to me, and true indeed, you have a bunch of demons out here, some called Safeway, some called Kroger, some called Lucky, some called, it's a whole lot of grocery stores, Publix. And, we can all look at them as being the demons that they are, because who gave them the right to gather all the cows and say, this belongs to me? And now you got to buy a hamburger. My name is McDonald. All those cows belong to all of us. But the truth of the matter is, in this, whether that be true or not, where in that do you ever utilize the God or goddess in you? What do I mean by that? Well, if you go in there knowing that you have to feed your family, and you make a conscious choice and looking down into the freezer, seeing the steak or the hamburger, whatever it is that you're about to buy a finger discount. And you say, you know what? I'm not taking this. You want to know why? Because I don't have to. The Most High will provide. The truth of the matter is, you put a force in motion which is a lot greater than you. But you can just walk, you can be walking out discouraged behind the fact you still don't have no food, and look down in there, whoop, $100 bill. Sitting right there for you to be able to pick up and keep walking. You put in motion a magic bigger than you. I know what I mean by that. There was a time in which I had several people who we were always barbecued. It was like a Sunday, beautiful, sunshiny day in California, and several people that I know were present. And everybody was barbecue, but I said, okay, well, fine. How much, we'll all pitch in. And come to find out, all these people wanted to barbecue, but they didn't have no money. And I had $100 to my name. I said, don't worry about it, I got it. I went to the grocery store, and I spent $95, $97 on food for this barbecue. And when the lady gave me my change, a penny had fallen out of my hand and fell to the floor. When I bent down to pick up the penny, right next to the penny was a $100 bill. So what I'm saying, these magical moments that
are not coincidental, because if it happens more than twice, it's not a coincidence. And these things have happened again and again and again and again and again, to the point that, listen, it should become obvious that something is in play a lot bigger and badder and greater than you could ever imagine. Because like I said, if there was a Guinness Book of World Records of the drug dealer who got this involved more than anybody in the city of Laredo, I would hold that record. But every time anything was taken from me, let me tell you something. At the exact instant it was taken, not only was it given back, but it was doubled. I'm talking about to the point where brother came to me and asked me for $5 that I had just been lost. I fell asleep with the money in my hand. Being who laid claim to being, somebody who loved me and was going to watch my back and my front and my sides, took the money out my hand and took off, ended up in the gambling spot. Fast as my eyes opened up, people would come telling me. Went downstairs and the brother asked me for $5. I said, yo, man, believe it or not, I ain't got no money. He said, man, stop lying. I turned my pockets out, rabbit ears, and next thing you know, the phone rang. $750, just that quick. Not only was the money replaced, but it doubled. And this happened again and again and again and again. Almost 20 to 30 times. And this is happening in front of people who in that city that, were very close knit together. People who go through adversity. If you're homeless and I'm homeless, we create somewhat of a bond because we're going through the same things, whether we like it or not, whether we like each other or not. The truth of the matter is you see somebody going through the same thing you're going through, whether you like it or not, you respect that. And it draws a certain type of respect for you towards them also, because if nobody else knows what you're going through, they do. Because you're going through the same thing they are. Well, this event took place to the point that everybody in the city knew it. That if you take anything from him, he's going to get it back instantly. Not a minute later, instantly. And it's going to double instantly. We've seen him do it. Well, again, Baba and Tuti and the higher ups want each of you to use the God and Goddess in you. Meaning to make things happen by the magical means of the Magi. And anybody who says that magic is not real, keep in mind the word magic came from the word Magi. And Magi merely means wise man or wise one. And wisdom's way always remains the same. I don't care what you say. Wise is as far away from stupid as it should be. There's nothing stupid about being wise. There's nothing stupid about having the ability, check this out, to achieve what you set out to achieve. There's nothing stupid about that. What is stupid is to have a goal in front of you that has to be achieved. And day in and day out, you're not moving towards it. You say you are, but you're not. And you know it. Because if you're moving towards a goal, then the fruit of that labor should be visible all around you to where nobody has to, second guess if this is a reality. Everyone knows it to be because it's right there for you to see and experience. And these are the means by which goals are reached. Each day you have to be doing something that's moving towards the goal in order to make it manifest. I don't care what. If all you got is a little hatchet, and you take one swipe every day at the mighty oak, before long the mighty oak will fall. But you have to take that one swipe every what? Day.
can't just sit there because it's not going to get done on its own. And really, if anybody knows how they can produce $250,000 in 2 weeks, I want to know your means. I want to know how they plan to making something of that nature manifest in that amount of time, because that's how this is. First off, if we're going to Zimbabwe, the way you all are going about it, we will get there Christmas in February. The Christmas in February. And never worry, meaning you ain't gonna make it. Don't worry about it. You're just not gonna get there. Not the way you all are going about it. Now, I can only lead people to water, to the river called Earth. Whether you bathe in it or not, that decision belongs totally to you. Because more than doers, we are deciders. Once the decision has been seen to be made firm, the doing becomes effortless. Meaning that which was at one time difficult for you becomes simplified, extremely. No easier said than done and then made easy. Step one is always the doozy. You get past that, smooth sailing. That's what this is all about. Our conversation here today is to tell you all, time ran out a long time ago. Procrastination should not be a part of this nation in any way. Only enthusiasm should shine forth. If indeed you ever expect to achieve the fulfillment of this mission. And this is first and foremost to you, in your mind and in your heart and in your soul, to get it done. Because like I said, if anybody can tell me how to produce $250,000 in 2 weeks, I'll be the first person to set up and follow that. Because there is nobody here that can tell me how to get that money, that much money, that quickly. Without doing something stupid. Don't get me wrong. You might say what I say is stupid, but yeah, let me tell you something. It's not. The risk is minimum. It's achievable. It can be done. There's 5 different regions in this country. We have people in each one of those regions. Most I want you to appoint, listen, one person in each region to be in charge of the project. That person, to make it manifest, it is not that hard. You get on eBay, listen to me, 2 vehicles might only cost $600. I'm not saying buy one and run. It should be making noise. Bang, boom, bing, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. I don't care. As long as it's rolling, it will achieve our purpose. We need 2 in every region. That means $600, $600 to $800 in each region has got to be spent on these vehicles. And I'm telling you now, yo, listen to me. Ain't no VAT no more. I'm not here to listen to you. You're here to listen to me. Because if indeed you all could produce that amount of money that quickly, then you would have done it by now. And I'm telling you what I know, it will work. All you have to do is do it. I'm telling you what I know. In every region, we will give each person in the front, we'll get a check for up to $10,000 in 2 weeks. 5 people, that's 50 grand in each region. 50, 100, 150, 200, $250,000 in 2 weeks' time. And it's achievable. And And if you're a coward, stay your coward ass the fuck over there, because you ain't going to be nothing but in our way. It's time that you get up and lose your fear. Because if you ain't got nothing to die for, damn it, you ain't got nothing to live for. And if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. The truth of the matter is, all of our people, I told you, seek for the truth. And you've already done that. And you will be made free. I didn't say set free. Meaning, you all are going to be made to get and do this so that you can free yourselves. Because your entire universe is about to start closing on you. Meaning, and he himself has so sanctioned it. If indeed you all do not do what it is I'm telling you to do, you're going to look up and life is going to become even more stressful and straining than it's ever been before for you. Only because you've been given an opportunity to be made free. And listen, I'm not choosing to take it. For whatever reason you may be inappropriate. I don't care what it is. Many of you all have your own reasons. It doesn't matter. What matters is what your reasons are not important. Because whatever's stopping you from doing this, let me tell you something. In a real way, it's stopping you from doing this, anything of grandeur that will be significant enough for us to be able to make our way to where it is we need to do. Again, if you want to solve a problem, you trace it back to its origin. Our problem started in India. So we're going back to the lines of Mona Dapper and set the record what? Straight. And this time, we're going to do it what? Right. Meaning, what defines wealth? Natural resources, diamonds, gold, oil. It's obvious, proven quantity to be the most wealthiest people on the planet. How do you know? Because you don't find gold, diamonds, and oils in Europe. Find them in our motherland. And meanwhile, a handful of beings can go over there by the name of the De Beers and take every diamond that belonged to us away. Which was the money that was designed to see to it that every person of color in this day and time would want for absolutely nothing. And that there would be no person of color living beneath the poverty line. So, what we have to do, I'm going to be completing the book of Revolution. Don't fool yourself. This book is talking about an uprising. We're not the beings who are here, who will be over there. Being there, waiting on long-awaited change. We're going to be the beings who are there to force long-awaited change into place, by which we will bridge the gap between new beings in our motherland and new beings over here. That will reverse everything that has been done to us as slaves. And in that day, when that day happens, that will be a joyous moment by which every person of color on the planet can then celebrate being alive. The Native Americans here today, without question, just like I said, by us creating a new Native American tribe, which fulfills their folklore. When we call ourselves the Shaddah Da tribe, they have to see us legitimate, under a legitimized eye. Why? Because we will make a claim that we're the true descendants of the Shoshone. And the burden of proof does not belong on us. The burden of disproof comes from them. And because it's in their folklore that a new tribe would pop up one day out of nowhere, when we step forward to the Native American League of Native American Indians and tell them we are that new tribe, what do you think they're going to do? They will have to consider that deeply when we make the claim from on our land, which is America. Listen now. speaking our own language, which is the Shaddah Da language. Have our own constitution, our own flag. These things have still yet to be totally created, but they have to be shortly here now. They will then give us a registry number by which we all can just check every month, the same way any Native American here in America does right now. Native Americans here in America are living quite nicely. Those casinos are paying good. And so once you get a registry number as a Native American, that's one step. That's step one. Then step two, you leave here and go back home, giving honor to, all of our Nubian leaders. Because if we don't give honor to all of our Nubian leaders, like whether Tammy Faye Baker was right or wrong, or was Jimmy Baker and Tammy Faye Baker was right or wrong, those people supported those people. And so listen, I don't care what, we're going to stand up and listen for our Nubian leaders, because we don't have that Nubian. The first one was Marcus Garvey. And on that note, we'll present to the entire world that the OSOICE are honoring Marcus Garvey by the fact that we're going back to what? Africa. I'm not saying to stay. I'm saying to start a revolution. And at the end of the day, who will be the governmental faction that governs the entire continent? The very most intelligent being that continent has, which will be us. In no way, let me tell you something, when we get off the plane, we will be so furtherly evolved that anyone that surrounds us, that there's no reason by which we should not be successful. Nobody around us will be able to tiptoe to touch us in our information and our ability to listen, to articulate and teach everything that this planet needs to know as a whole, as a body. Not just me doing it, y'all doing it too, because each one of y'all will become a Messiah of your what? Self. I'm going to tell you, yourself. Why do you think all these years I've been saying, my name is ATUN-RE, what's yours? That was the alchemy. That each time you said, my name is ATUN-RE, yes, that was without question. From that moment forward, each of you started to sound more and more like me every day. And now it's time. There ain't no more time to be playing with this. It's either you win it or you ain't. And so what I'm saying is, you're going to sit down and do just enough to say you did something and you're going to miss the boat. I'm not talking about no shit, no bureau, no shams, none of that, because they'll take this out. We ain't going nowhere. You should have figured that out a long time ago. If you go to Revelation chapter 21, it says there will be a new heaven and a new earth. For the old heaven and the old earth was passed away, because what's happening here, whether you know it or not, is that every solar system is going to expand by one. The 19th galaxy will now become the 20th galaxy. This being the 18th galaxy, called the Milky Way, will then become the 19th galaxy, where now, as though it has only one sun, slowly, what you will see happening in your sky is that this sky of ours will have three suns. And then divine order will be restored. It's going to be restored right back to where it was before Zuen or Inzu stole the tablets of destiny in the first place. And can't nobody else tell you that but me. And when he says there will be no more sea, what that's referring to is because the circle will be made whole. Meaning there won't be no more 12 tribes of Israel or 12 tribes of Israel. There will be 20 to 24 tribes of El Men Ra. Where we put the name of the Most High finally out front. And the God men after that, and then we three who are ATUN-RE, and Amun-Re after that. Because the woman Rebecca, she put the woman first, is in reference to Isis. She put her husband or the man second, Rob, which is reference to the we three. And then she did the Most High last by calling those children Israel in the first place. which was stupid. You don't put the Most High last. And if you look at our women here today, many of them, I'm not talking about women amongst the OSOICE. I'm just talking about Nubian women out there. That's what they're doing. They put themselves first. They put their man second, and they put the Most High last. And they can care less about anything that you say that's spiritual. As long as they're getting paid, they don't give a damn about nothing. As long as they got food, they don't give a damn fuck. You just say whatever you want to say. And they're quick to tell me, I ain't trying to hear all that shit. If they ain't put no food on my line, get out my face. Because the average woman here today is only looking for one thing, which is security. Which is to turn her man or whoever it is that she says she loves into a slave. They do absolutely nothing but sit on their butts, run their mouth, and complain and make the nigga jump, hop, skip, and jump whichever way they want to. And most of our brothers are so with which way you go, they fall for. And I don't care what nobody says. Bible wasn't finished. When he said you put the woman out front, that they're natural born leaders, he wasn't finished, meaning he was doing that then, but he would later on come back and let you know that yes, women are natural born leaders, but the man is the head of the household. Returning the Nubian man to his original place where he's supposed to be. So any woman who doesn't have good sense enough to listen, like we know we have to listen to our women because they're natural born leaders. Now, question, they rule and govern the home, which is a small government within itself. But let me tell you something, sisters. You all better start learning to listen to your husband, if indeed your husband is spiritually guided by the heavens itself. Because you have centripetal forces and centrifugal forces. Now, many of you might not know what that is. You have forces that are going up and forces that are coming down. Forces that are extroverted and forces that are introverted. Forces that are pushing and forces that are pulling. Masculine energy, listen, pushes. Feminine energy pulls. And young brothers that are talking that crap that day, yes, without question. The reason the name ATUN-RE, listen, is seen in certain places as a feminine name is because of feminine energy. Meaning what's coming out my mouth is not masculine energy, but that doesn't mean it's gay. What it means is it's designed to pull people, not to push them what? Away. I'm here identifying with each of you all's great-great-great-grandmothers. Notice I keep telling you all that. I have a relationship that is near and dear to me with each one of you all's great-great-grandmother. Which is why I said here to listen to Musa today, and I said to you all right now, everything's going to be just fine, baby. Because God loves you, and so do I. And in that, you don't have to worry about all the things that you might think you have to. Because those words, as richly spoken as they was richly spoken then, having the ability to heal things then, are as equally powerful here today as they was 50 years ago. Tell the truth, 10 years ago. As the minute you was worried about anything, you go to your grandmother, I know what she said, baby, don't you worry about nothing. Everything's going to be just fine. Because God loves you, and so do I. So do I. And because your great-great-grandmother's prayed the day that you all would be in this form with me, that's why you see it right now. Had those prayers not been so, listen, extremely done, and so meaningful, and every, listen, matter by which they were being poured out, then the truth of the matter is, none of you all will ever even met me. It's because of those prayers that you have come to this place at this time. Those prayers right there that was done in my name. Whether they was calling me Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah, I don't care what. They knew exactly what they was doing. And you know it deep down inside of yourself that every word I'm saying is true. So, you know, you can sit back, you can think that these things are just going to go away and not manifest in the way Bible says should, or you can know that what I'm saying is true. And then that will get it done. Not just me, but so will you. And I swear to God, if this phone is turned off and I've been talking this entire time and no one has said not one word to let me know that I'm not being heard, you all need to be ashamed of yourselves. But I know good and well you're hearing every word I say, listening attentively, which is what you should be doing. Because who else do you have here today that can speak this way to you, that can let you know what you need to know?
No one.
No one. There ain't nobody else. Nobody. And I'm not taking away from my father. Don't think that for one moment. Because I don't do anything of my own. I do only what Baba tells me. And as much as Baba has always done, I don't understand how people could ever think that in a time in which Baba would need the heavens the very most, what made them think that the heavens wouldn't be there for Baba? If it was written into the book of life that Baba would be in a place by which, listen, his communicative situation would be severed, hampered with, by which, check this out, some people who are getting letters from France, Colorado's Supermax Federal Penitentiary thinking that that's Baba, they are damn fools because it's not. And what made anybody think that after all the good my father's done, that the heavens would not afford my father a secured line of communication, which is the mind meld. So that's not telepathic communication. Telepathic communication can be interrupted, disrupted, and corrupted. Why do you think he's called Melchizedek in the first place? There's nobody delivering this level of information. You can go if you doubt it, go out there and look around. You're not going to get this nowhere else. And so I know if you leave, go looking, you'll be back. And the one thing I won't say when you get back is, see, I told you. But I will tell you this here now. Everybody better start doing what I say do. Seriously. Because, listen, it ain't going to hurt me. It's only hurting you. It will only hurt me in the mannerism by which I'll be disappointed. Not angry. Just disappointed. Because I expect so much more of you all. And I know damn well you can do it. Don't make no excuses. Don't tell me with that pot. Everybody want to have an excuse about why they can't do or won't do or whatever happened. And please, I don't want to hear it anymore. Do what I tell you, and let me tell you something. You're going to do it anyway because you're about to be made to. And it says, seek the truth and you will find that. And the truth will make you free. It's a whole lot of y'all who might not want to listen to me, but you're going to be made to listen to me because you ain't going to have no other choice. Because ain't nobody else going to be able to afford it, as there's going to be nobody else telling you nothing of value. Nowhere. And there's going to be nobody else with a plan that can, listen, free you. Nobody. So get ready, because you all are about to be ready, made free. Meaning whether you like it or not. That's what time is. So you can fight against your own fulfillment of your own destiny if you want to. Be a fool if you choose to. But think as a fool and you'll be a fool. Think as a god or a goddess, and you'll be a god or a goddess. One day. I'm not talking about a being who is just, how should you say, consumed and digested the concept of what it is to be God or God. I'm talking about the real deal, holy deal. Because all those dudes who's laying claim to being gods, they're not gods and goddesses. There are beings who were given a concept of what it is to be a God or a God by God, who is my Father. And many of them still, to this day, have yet to conceptualize that concept, meaning they've yet to take it and make it work in their day-to-day lives. You can't talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, damn it. If you can't do something that a God can do, then sit your ass down and stop calling yourself one. And what I mean by that, it makes the wind blow, motherfucker. I can. Make lightning come down. I can. And can show you. If you first admit to yourselves, you don't know. And would like to know. Stop standing up out there, you civilians, thinking you this, that, and the third, and indeed, you're not a God or goddess just because you can pay your rent. You're just a nigga with a job or some type of hustle. This don't add up to be absolutely nothing at this late stage of the game. Which ain't a game at all. The motherfuckers, they ain't playing with what? Us. You go into any courtroom, motherfucker, boom, 25 years. That motherfucker playing with you? And shit's real. And there's two games that you all got to know. It's only two games that in their duality concept that they afford us anyway, which is the game of life, where you roll the dice, or the game of trumpet, where you go cluck, cluck, one step forward, cluck, cluck, 5 steps back. Now, you get it through your heads that what we have to do has to be done, or you're going to be wishing that you did later. I'm telling you, time is running what out. How you all get it together, do what I'm saying to do. Musa, I want you to get in touch. Listen, appoint 5 people in each region to be in charge of the project. I don't care how these people are informed what the project is and how it's going to work. I want it done. And I'm not just playing the radio. Our people's lives depend upon it.
I got you, Steve. I'll organize it, and I'll get it squared away for you. We're going to get this paper for you. We're going to get this job done, family.
Listen,
we own it.
What I'm saying to you is, and those of you who are cowards, stay your asses the fuck away from me. I mean that. If you're scared, that means your love ain't strong enough. The one thing that will not be allowed back into our house, which is heaven, is fear. You didn't know that? That's why you're being tested in this way. Fear. If your fear factor is too great, forget it. You ain't coming in our house, trust me. And heaven, that means heavens will not be your place. Because your fear will be too great. And in that, you will be a danger to yourself and everybody who comes in contact with you. Just because you're scared and will run away in times of danger. Your family members need you. Real love will stand there in times of danger no matter what. It will sacrifice its greatest gift, which is its very own life, to see to it that a loved one survives, while fear will run and hide. Real love stands with its doors forever wide open. Will give you the shirt off his back. You say, wait a minute, does it match your pants? And in fact, I got a better one in the closet. Here, come here, try that on. And guess what? You look good in that. And you don't owe me nothing. Because never will real love throw in your face at a later time what it's done for you. And if anybody does that to you, you immediately tell them you ain't do shit with me. All you did was purchase opportunity for you to be able to say what you're saying right this minute. So on that note, you didn't do nothing for me. You just did it for yourself. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you ain't fooling me, is what you tell them. Because then you got a whole lot of them out there who do that to each other right here today. Like I said, never mind how you treat me. Look at how you treat each other. Because I'm not going to tolerate that shit. Ain't nobody coming to me talking that shit. Not without me stomping all over it. We both see. Shit. And if that's what your master teacher would do, then what does that tell you you should do? The exact same one thing. Don't play with them. Tell them like the TI is, because can't nobody else do it better than y'all. Those of you who've been with me now for a time period, and you know who you are. Those of you who understand this information and this listen, this information that is a mid-information in the first place. Those of you who understand it, shoot, y'all speak it well, and you know you do. In every conversation you find yourself in, you niggas sound just like me, and you know it. You see what I'm saying? And I don't care who you're talking. You find yourself in a conversation, if there's anything spiritual about it, nigga, you ATUN-RE at that moment. You think you ain't?
Right.
You down the wall. Because I put the fork that out for you a long time ago. Don't you see it? It's all around you. It's in voting, and he's running for president. Every time he opens his mouth, who he sound like?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Anybody who looks at any of Bodie's stuff on YouTube, you can tell right away that the nigga, that nigga, you know where that nigga learned that shit from. And he know where he learned it from. So when Bodie sits in the White House, who's sitting there? Him or me?
You.
Don't you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I asked Sophia Stewart, were you mad when they stole your switch? She thought for a minute, she said, hell no, and started laughing. I started laughing with her. Because I knew right then and there, it wasn't nothing for me to be mad about. Because if Bodie makes it to the White House, guess who's sitting in the chair? Shit. You understand? And I got the proof to prove it. Because all those blog talk radio shows that he and his sister and others thought they had deleted. Everyone, they forgot about our family over in London, and our family in London has saved and stored every show. And I got the whole file in my possession right now. But Bodie will never be able to deny that he, listen, without question, knows that I am indeed he. He'll never be able to deny that. And he'll never be able to deny where he got that information from. Because when they say prove it, or without question, I'll prove it. Show after show after show after show. And let me tell you, him and just like I told you, they gonna fall out. Him and Don Corleone done fell out. Wanna know how you know? Because Don Corleone is saying vote for Donald Trump. See? You know they done fell out. She ain't saying vote for Bodie. She said vote for Donald Trump. Don Corleone, who looks like Bodie with a wig on, let me tell you something. Ain't even smart enough to support her own brother. She's so egotistical and driven by her own selfish desire that she would go out her way, listen, to hurt Bodie with anything, especially if Bodie said something that she didn't like. You see? The mentality has been known and put forth by these people for years now. But they say, come on, Stevie Wonder can see. And you don't have to wonder that what I'm saying is true or not, because he knows. Blind as a bat, just as blind as Bodie. Yeah, I don't call once or twice and you mistake the voicemail. I ain't calling no more. Don't have to. Because you think that nigga ain't listening to our shows? He'll be listening to this one when it gets posted. And without question, I want to post it ASAP. I'm tired of our family moving like snails. I took a Puerto Rican boy to class on the land named Fuego, friend of mine. Everybody had their hands up and Baba pointed to Fuego and said, next question. Fuego said, I don't mean to change the subject. Baba said, well, then don't. Next question. Figure it out. That's how quick we're supposed to move. That's how quick the human mind's supposed to be in place. Sharp as a knife. Not dull as a $2 razor. Get real. And then get real fast with your response. And quick and crisp with it. You don't hear me sluggish. You don't hear me, delaying in response. You hear me with a spontaneous response that I do without doing. I can do it with, check this out, in my sleep backwards. And each of you should be able to do it just that way too. Don't tell me you can't, because you can, and I know you can. You know you can, because every time you get in any conversation that's spiritual, without question, kick in like Bruce Lee. I'm done. It kicks in like Bruce Lee, and next thing you know, you sound just like my ass, and you know you do. You feel me? Shit. Truth is true. See what I'm saying? So you already have the gift. You ride the bike. And once you know how to ride the bike, you can't unlearn that. You're going to be in that frame of this and that mind state for the rest of your life. You don't see that? Can't nobody take that from you. I gave that to you. Baba gave that to you. And don't fool yourselves. I gave you literally a piece of my soul that each one of you all carry with you everywhere you go. Oh, wow. Yourselves will continue to become the worst liable. You know damn well what I'm saying is true. And with that, family, they'll go ahead on and do this Latin thing. I want everybody out there to be able to hear you read. I'm going to say to you all and the listening audience, Shaddah Da, which means peace and love. And I love you all. Without question.
Shaddah Da,
Without
Chief.
question.
We love you. We love you too, Master.
I
Shaddah
love you too, Chief. Shaddah.
Najee?
Yes, Chief.
Yes.
Najee.
Yes.
Yes,
I want
Chief.
this show put out, listen to me. I want this show put out immediately,
Yes, Chief.
without hesitation. I don't want to be looking an hour, 2 hours. I don't hear it. Get it out there now. Box it, bag it, put it out there.
Yes, Chief.
Shaddah.
Shaddah Da.
Shaddah Da, Master.